What's up YouTube? This is Mike, the Detroit Borg, with a look at the new third generation Apple TV, which is essentially a update from the second generation Apple TV. That's to say basically that this is a spec upgrade. It doesn't look different, but it does have some new internal specs. So we go from an A4 to an A5 processor, so that allows the Apple TV now to support 1080p to an HD TV instead of just 720p. So let's go ahead and take a look to see what we get. Now, quickly taking a look around the box, you can see it looks like the Apple TV second generation, but we get this 1080p logo reminding us that this is indeed capable of 1080p. Now on the back, we have a preview of the new user interface, which launched with Apple TV third generation, but it's also available on the Apple TV second generation as an update. So we'll take a look at that once we get it connected. So let's go ahead and cut into this plastic and take a look. So it should just slide out. There is our Apple TV. Now we have this handy little tab to lift the Apple TV out of its box, and you can see it's wrapped in plastic. We'll take a look at that in just a minute so we can take a look to see what else we get. So we have this nice little aluminum remote, unchanged from the second generation. So let's unwrap that. So as you can see, we have this sturdy aluminum remote with this directional D-pad. So we have left, right, up, and down, and select in the center, and menu, and play pause. Menu essentially on the Apple TV is the back button. But what you need to know about this is that although it looks like a scroll wheel, it is not. It's just a D-pad. So you can't use this to scroll through lists like you would with an iPod. On the back, we have our little battery compartment, which can be turned with the help of a coin, and that contains our battery. Up top, we have our little IR blaster. So this is how the remote communicates with the Apple TV. It doesn't use Bluetooth, it just uses IR. So the Apple TV can be used with any sort of universal remote like the Harmony One. Now in our box are our other essential accessories, including the power cable. So you can see it's nicely curled up like all Apple packaging. That's very well thought out. And we also have some literature. So we have the Apple TV setup guide, which will take you through on how to connect it. We also have some Apple stickers, and we have the Apple TV, looks like license agreement, warranty information, that sort of thing. Now while Apple does not include an HDMI cable, they do sell a version that matches the Apple TV. It's completely aesthetic. You can use any HDMI cable you want, cheaper or more expensive. This runs about $20. Now taking a look around the Apple TV, we still have this sort of unibody plastic design with this etched surface on top, excluding the Apple logo and TV. On the side, we still have that shiny surface, which is actually translucent, so the IR sensor can see through this plastic. So there isn't a specific port just for the IR sensor. Of course, we have a little indicator light behind there as well. On the bottom, we have our little round pedestal, which is slightly raised if you look at it from the side. Of course, on the back, we have our ports. So we have our power connector, our HDMI connector, an optical audio output, as well as an Ethernet connector. Now, you don't need to use Ethernet to connect to the Apple TV. You can use wireless. This is capable of wireless. And we also have our mini USB connector. This allows us to flash the firmware if we need to service the Apple TV for whatever reason. This is something that the end user isn't likely to use. Now, comparing the second generation to the third generation, there really is no way to tell the difference, except for the second generation here is obviously used and more scratched up. So you can see that the pedestal is unchanged. If you look around the side, you can see the dimensions are unchanged. It's still shiny. If we look on the back, you can see the ports are unchanged as well. And of course, the top is unchanged as well. So let's go ahead and connect it and take a look. Now once connected, we also have this white LED indicator which flashes when we use the remote. Now when we go to set up our Apple TV for the first time, the first thing we need to do is select our language, connect to the internet, and agree or disagree to share our information with Apple. Now, one of the biggest changes to the Apple TV comes in the form of a new user interface, which is also available as an update on the previous model. Although no new features have been added, we do get a new tiled layout that resembles iOS. However, the Apple TV does not support app downloads, so what you see is what you get. Now, the top row has our main services such as movies, TV shows, music, computers, and settings. However, the first thing I want to do here is jump to my settings to log into my iTunes account so I can start purchasing and loading my content from the iTunes Store. Under Store, you can also select your resolution for purchases, including standard def, 720p, and 1080p. Once signed in, I just need to confirm I want Apple TV to remember this account for purchases. Next thing I want to do is toggle iTunes Match on so that my music library can now be played right from the Apple TV. And lastly, I want to turn on home sharing so that my Apple TV can connect to the iTunes library on my local computer. Now, once I'm through with that, I can now switch to the remote app on my iPhone, iPod Touch, or iPad to control the Apple TV. This makes entering text a lot easier. Now we can start navigating our content. First up is movies. So from here we can rent or purchase movies directly from Apple. Browsing is straightforward with the option to look through categories or type in a search. Selecting a movie lets you read a synopsis or watch a trailer and even read the Rotten Tomatoes reviews to see if it's worth $4.99 for rental. Most of the recent releases are $4.99, but older movies are usually cheaper. Once you rent a movie, you have 30 days to watch it or 24 hours once you start watching it. You don't need to wait for the movie to download, but you will need to give it a few moments to buffer before you can start playing it. Playback in 1080p does look much better than the 720p we're used to, but don't expect Blu-ray quality. Compression artifacts are still apparent, especially in the midtones. Audio quality is superb at 5.1 Dolby Digital. On the purchases, we can stream previous iTunes purchases right from the iCloud. What's nice here is that movies purchased in lower resolutions are now upgraded to 1080p, and improvements are significant. Other features include Genius, which will match previous rentals with similar titles. Next up is TV shows, which is very similar to movies. Here you can rent individual episodes for around $2.99 or purchase entire seasons for around $34.99. Under music, I will find my iTunes Match library. Now, if you don't have an iTunes Match account, you will instead have the option to connect your iTunes library running on your home network. So from here, I can browse my music by categories, playlists, Genius mixes, or searches. Under computer, thanks to home sharing, I can access the content on my home computer using iTunes. This includes my music library, movies, TV shows, podcasts, iTunes U, and photos. And again, you will need your iTunes computer running on a shared network to access this content via home sharing. Now with photos, I can browse my categories, select events, open individual photos, and playback slideshows, all streamed instantly from the computer without having the need to load it on the Apple TV. Alternatively, you can access your photos from your PhotoStream library stored on your iCloud account, although it may take some time to load your library before you can start browsing. Also available is the soon-to-be-defunct MobileMe gallery, as well as Flickr. Third-party content includes Netflix. Here you can log into your existing account or sign up for a new one using iTunes to pay for it. The Netflix interface includes all the familiar categories such as recently watched, genres, TV shows, new releases, and the instant queue. Selecting a movie brings up unique Netflix features such as rating it or adding it to your queue. And because the Apple TV now supports 1080p, so does Netflix, so you can now see improved video quality for some HD movies. Also available to sports fans are the MLB, NHL, and NBA channels. Paid subscribers to these services can watch live games or watch previously recorded games on demand. Free content is also available through YouTube, Vimeo, Wall Street Journal Live, podcasts, and internet radio. YouTube also allows you to log into your YouTube account so you can watch videos you've uploaded, browse your subscriptions, or simply search and browse featured content. Playback has also noticeably improved with the new 1080p functionality. Vimeo is a service similar to YouTube with a focus more on featured original content and higher HD quality. One of my favorite portals for free content is Podcast, which offers a vast library of online audio or video streaming content on a variety of topics which you can browse and search. Internet radio is also familiar territory here. Here you can browse a wide array of genres and stations for live streams, although audio quality tends to vary. Wall Street Journal also offers live content during certain parts of the day or a library of pre-recorded content, such as this review from Walt Mossberg on the iPad 3. And finally, and most importantly, the Apple TV supports AirPlay from your iTunes computer or compatible iOS devices. AirPlay, of course, allows you to stream your video and audio directly from your iPad or iPhone directly on the Apple TV. And furthermore, AirPlay mirroring allows you to display your iPhone, iPad, or Mac's screen directly onto the Apple TV. This lets you display content such as Hulu directly on your Apple TV, even if it's not among Apple's official Apple TV partners. So that's going to do for me, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video.